And we're live in both places. Yep, Tammy, we do have power. Thank you guys for joining us today. I know it was a little bit up in the air whether or not we would actually be having a show today, because if you saw my little impromptu live from the Whole Foods parking lot in Jackson, we've got a sudden alert, that there was like bad weather heading for AldermanFarms, and so I thought, well, I better jump on and tell them if we're not there, it's because we don't have power.
Right. And even though we live in the country, we really do have. You usually don't lose power real easily, so that's a blessing. But we do lose power, so
we do, and our electric company they do a great job. It's I guess, is it a co-op? No, it's an association, Southwest Mississippi Electric Power Association, and they do a great job. So anyway, but let me tell you this. It's a whole lot darker here right now than it should be at 5 p.m. Central Time in Mississippi.
Yeah.
So we still have the possibility of losing power. And we are bracing ourselves for bad weather overnight. So we appreciate your prayers, and pray for other people who are in the paths of these storms, because, as I mentioned earlier today, they typically follow the same path, and the worst of it typically misses us. Mm-hmm. And but those poor folks who live in those typical paths just take a beating. Yeah. So
that's what somebody, Mother of Many Horses, said. How bad was the weather, or is it, or was? And earlier it wasn't. We weren't here. We were on our way back here. My sister was here, and
what did she say about it?
She really didn't say. She just said it was over, and she'll probably send me a text in just a minute because she's supposed to be watching. But I could tell that it had rained here, but there weren't leaves on the ground or anything like that. So I don't think that we had any blowing weather or anything like that. So
it didn't look hardly like it had done anything when we got here, and we didn't pass any small limbs or pine cones on the roadways or anything. So
other than my sister had to travel home to Louisiana. And so it was like there was a window where we weren't having rain. And she said, I just talked to her, and she's home, and she said that she got sprinkled on, that's all. So that was good. She didn't have to travel in rain. And let it snow. Our power lines are not buried. They're in the air, I guess, So.
Yeah, there's power lines all over the air down here. Yeah. They still run them up high down here. So
and hey everybody, I thought, I don't have my chat up, so I had put my chat up. So there's a lot of y'all in here. So a lot of y'all said hello, so I'm gonna say one big hello to everybody. So.
Yeah. So anywho, so here we are, live on YouTube, live on Facebook for the second or third week in a row.
Maybe it's the third week.
I don't know if it's the second or third week.
When Andy was here, you had it live, huh?
I think that's right.
This is the third show.
Third show in a row without any hiccups, and right down to the wire. Patty's sending me pictures from her phone to include in the slideshow for the evening. And we've got to get better at that.
We've got some things that's we have an excuse this time because we just came in from Memphis again.
Yeah.
And so
got those of you who follow our channel probably know or should know that our oldest son, Cameron, lives in Portland, Oregon. And as you might imagine, you don't just hop up and run to Oregon.
No, not from Mississippi anyway.
Not from Mississippi.
There's some of y'all that could do that, but we can't.
But we can't. And neither can he just hop up and run down here for a visit. And so Cameron was home for Christmas, which was wonderful.
Yes.
And then all else being equal, it was going to be a long time probably before we would get to see him again, because probably wouldn't be able to come 2 Christmases in a row. Maybe not.
Yeah, he's not planning to.
But as the Lord would have it, his job brought him to Birmingham, and then he's been working on something in Memphis now for a couple. He came a few weeks ago. You may remember that. We actually begged you guys off, and you allowed us to cut our live so short because the way it fell, we were spending Sunday evening and Monday morning with him there. But this time we went up and were able to catch him with a better schedule for all involved.
Yes.
And Tomas got to go.
Yep, he was glad to see his Uncle Cam Cam.
Yep, he calls him Cam Cam, and he was so excited to see Cam Cam. We picked him up at the airport. He's got a crew there with him, and they had already been there, so they had the car and didn't want to rent another car. And so we picked him up at the airport, and of course Tomas had been talking about Uncle Cam Cam the whole way there. He couldn't wait to see him, and just ran to him and jumped in his arms, and he was just he's just stuck to him like glue.
Yeah, he really did.
The whole time we were there. So we've got a couple more. This is
this is when we first got him from the airport.
Yeah, we were going down the road, so it's a little fuzzy.
That's what I was gonna say. It looks blurry to me.
Yeah, and none of us have ever been to the big Bass Pro Shops there in Memphis that's in a giant glass pyramid. And so we decided we would go there. And really glad that we did, although we spent way too much money that we weren't really planning on spending. Patty snapped this photo. I didn't know she got it, but I'm so glad she did. With Tomas holding hands with his pawpaw and his Uncle Cam Cam.
And Let It Snow, thank you for offering if he needs something. I really appreciate that. He said he's only about 4 hours from there, so if he ever needs anything that I could let him know. And you know, I know you told me how to say this name last week, but John.
Hang on a second, I'm trying to.
Okay.
What is it?
Right here.
Jatan.
I'm
She's
sorry.
Actually got the pronunciation right here.
I thought it was her last name. I'm terrible with names, so I don't even try. Anyway, Jatan. If you were to see Cameron's baby pictures, I've told Cameron he will not have a child of his own that looks more like him than Tomas.
No.
Because, I mean, even when Tomas sees Cameron's baby pictures, and Tomas is the kind, he can see the baby pictures and he can pick out his mommy, he can pick out Annie, he can pick out Corey, but when he sees Cameron's pictures, he says that that's him. They look so much alike. It is so funny. So.
Yeah, it really is true. They both have eyelashes that long.
Yeah.
You know, and Tomas we have a Bass Pro here in Jackson, where Tomas lives with his mommy and daddy, and he loves to go see the fish, but the fish in the aquarium, which I got a picture of that too. But in this Bass Pro there in Memphis, they've got like open water. Boats in it and all that inside the store, and so the fish are just, you know, they've got lots of fish. Isn't that a good picture of him though? That was a good picture. Patty was being quite the photographer. And
I usually forget to take pictures, but and Kitty, I do take pictures all week long. I just don't give them to Tommy until right before the show.
Until right before. I mean, so, literally.
I did go run out and take pictures of. A few things. I did a video of the greenhouse, and I took a picture of our little turkeys that are hatching, and everything, and sent them to him. That was very.
Yeah, but I didn't get to use them.
Oh, why not? They were upside down.
Yeah.
I made sure they were right on my phone.
I know it's not that. I can't figure out what the deal is.
Well, I just tell them that we've got, we still have chicks and everything hatching, and I think we have a picture of the Delaware, huh?
Yeah.
But anyway, that's the Delaware chicks. They were a week old Friday, so they're getting a little bigger. We sold, 11 of them, and we still have 11. I counted them a while ago. We have 11, and the Bielefelders have started hatching. I'm not pleased with my hatch at all. I didn't even get half of them didn't even hatch. But my turkeys, I had 9 turkey eggs in there, and all but 2 have hatched. And 1 tried to hatch, but it didn't make it out. So I'm very pleased with the turkey hatch. I haven't done the percentages yet.
Because we haven't had good luck hatching turkeys.
Yeah, turkeys seem to be harder to hatch, but I'm just real disappointed.
Harder to raise, too.
Yeah. I'm just real disappointed with the Bielefelder hatch. But, the eggs that I bought, my $25 a dozen eggs, the most expensive eggs I've ever bought, I only got, let's see, maybe 6 to 8 chicks. I can't remember how many roosters we got. We only got 2 hens. So
I thought we had another hen and lost it. Did we only hatch with 2
No, we
hens?
only. Well,
out of a dozen.
Well, remember
they didn't all hatch.
remember me and Ramona.
Right.
She bought a dozen also, and I
Right.
hatched them all, and we
Right.
split the hatch. And
Right.
I got 2 hens, and she got 2. She may have ended up. There was one that was a little iffy that may have been. I think it was a different breed by accident or something. But anyway, yeah. So that wasn't a good hatch then, and this time it's not been a good hatch. You know, I haven't went out and counted
That's
my
going to be
numbers
so
again.
disappointing because it's our favorite chicken.
Yeah.
It's my favorite chicken. I think it's your favorite chicken.
Yeah.
So that's going to be real disappointing if they don't have a good hatch rate because, I mean, although we could just keep it going.
Yeah, I mean, I have more in the incubator to hatch, so we'll see how they're doing and everything. It's just 2 hens and 1 rooster, so they should be fertile. That shouldn't be the problem. But and I've got I have a picture somewhere. I should have sent that one to you. I've got a chest incubator. I guess that's what you call it, the upright. I bought
Cabinet.
Cabinet. That's it. Cabinet incubator, and I got that. I saw a picture on Facebook, and I forgot. I think I've had it 5 years. I thought I had it
been a
just 3 or
while.
4, but it may be 5 or 6 years. And I paid $200 for it used, and I paid for it the first year that we hatched chicks.
Yeah.
That year because I sold enough chicks that it paid for it.
It's
I've
100,
actually,
180? 180
180
eggs it'll hold.
yeah, and so
That's
I-
a lot of chicken.
yeah. I've actually let Corey, I guess he was the main one that was here because Cameron was gone, and the girls really haven't fooled with the animals that much. Carly Ann loves them, but she's not really worked with them like that. But I let Corey do it 1 year or 2, and I let him make the money off of it and stuff like that. So
Yeah. And,
anyway,
we
it was a
haven't.
very good investment.
We've talked about getting into quail. We hadn't done it yet, but if you can put 180 chicken eggs in there, that's what 42,000 quail eggs.
That's a lot of. I've got to
Something
buy.
like that.
I've got to buy the thing to go in there to hatch quail eggs.
Yeah, you got to get a little adapter, or you can just.
Yeah.
It'd be fun to watch them roll around. All right, I got one more photo of Tomas, but before I put it up there, I got to tell you a story. First of all, let me tell you, he is such a good little boy, and he was so well behaved.
He was
Just
really good.
Patty found some car games that we had with our kids.
I remember the ones walking out the door. I went and dug them out.
Because it's a 4-hour ride roughly, and little boards with pictures of a police car, ambulance, bicycle, things like that, and you're supposed to like check them off when you see them along your trip.
Yeah, it's like road bingo.
Road
That's
bingo,
what it is,
something
yeah.
like that. But we didn't do all that.
Yeah, I didn't
we
tell
just
him-
told him check them
Yeah,
off when you see
yeah.
them, and some other little things. And he entertained himself. He didn't sleep either way.
No, he didn't. And he's the kind. He falls asleep in the car.
He gets that from his daddy. But he was so well behaved. And so anyway, so we're in Bass Pro, and like I said, we ended up spending money that we didn't plan on spending. Bought a new pair of shoes. Patty bought some boots. Bought a few pair of shorts I needed and a shirt, and Patty bought a
I
few
can buy me some more of these shirts.
Some more of her
Columbia shirts.
Columbia
That's what it in Columbia. That yeah.
UPF, what is it? SPF shirt.
Well, the sun don't get on you,
Yeah,
yeah.
to protect from sun. So anyway, to make a long story short, we said, we need to get Tomas something. So he picked out a little toy set. It's Bass Pro, so all their toys are kind of outdoorsy.
Mm-hmm.
And this little set came with a little toy canoe and a little toy kayak and a guy with some fishing gear and all that. So all the way back to the hotel, he's talking. He cannot wait to get a bath.
Well, wait. We went and ate supper after that.
Yeah,
And
and the whole
all this
time
kind of
he's
stuff.
thinking and
Yeah.
talking about playing with it in the
Ask him to
bathtub.
take a bath. Ask him to take a bath.
I'm ready to take a bath and play with my stuff. We get to the hotel and there is no bathtub.
There's a shower.
It's just a stand-up shower. But I'm gonna show you how easygoing this kid is.
He didn't even cry.
I don't know, for an hour last night, and
until
then
we went to bed.
Until we went to bed, and then again this morning,
This is his entertainment.
he entertained himself playing with that stuff in the bathroom sink, sitting up on the counter, playing with his kayak and his canoe in the bathroom sink. So
He had fun.
So when his daddy met us to pick him up, came back through Jackson, he told him, "I'm ready to take a bath." Actually, no, they were going to watch Federer and Nadal and go Fed. Federer won.
Yeah, that's what he impressed a little girl who went to eat before we left the night before we left to go to Memphis, and he told her something about Federer and everything, and she was a tennis player. We didn't know
Yeah,
it.
that's right.
And so she was so impressed that she knew he could say Federer, and well, what does he say?
Featherer. Yeah, it kind of comes out Featherer.
Anyway, that
but he knows who he's talking about.
He knew who that was. But anyway, all right, we can't spend a lot of time on this. But the Cajun Homestead said, "Love the hat, go Tigers." GEAUX.
Woo!
This must be from Louisiana, and Naples Cajun said LSU strong. So I knew that'd make you happy.
Yeah, but that's going to bring out the trolls.
That's so. I'll pop him. I'll whip him after the show.
Well, you see her sitting next to me in a red shirt. I mean, what's up with that?
It's not red. It's pink. It just looks
pink.
red on there.
It just looks red.
Anyway, some people were asking. Somebody's. Let's see, who was that said that? Mother of Many Horses says she just likes using broody hens, and so
that's always best.
Mm-hmm. And Kelly Hale said that she had better luck hatching in a homemade incubator made with a styrofoam cooler. You know, I've always wanted to make one of those, and I never have.
We've actually got a styrofoam incubator.
That's what I was going to say. I was actually blessed. A lady that buys a lot of stuff from us and everything was cleaning out her shed, and that she came across one that was her husband's that has passed away, and so she's given that to me. I have to get a thermometer for it, though. And so
we've had great luck with the incubator, and
yeah.
you know, like I said, 7 out of 9 turkey egg, these are white turkeys, and
that's a good hatch.
The Delaware, we've been 82 to 85% hatch rate on that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the incubator. We've had successful hatches before. It's just, I don't know, something wrong with them billy fillers. That bothers me. We got to figure that out. Hey Tom, good to have you on Facebook.
But anyway, and then somebody said, "What's broody mean?" Which that's been answered in here, but I'm going to say it just in case somebody has not caught it. Broody means it's just a hen that is ready to set her nest of eggs. And what'll happen? They'll lay a certain amount of eggs, and they'll decide, okay, I'm ready to sit, and it's something with their body. Yeah. And anyway, like they want to sit on eggs.
It flips the switch, and
and so you can actually just let a hen set your nest too. I've had problems doing that because then the other hens come get in the nest with them. But there's ways you can actually, like at nighttime, you could actually move her to a separate area and all. And if we get one going broody again that I like a hen to raise my chicks. You don't have to buy chick starter.
We hadn't had them.
She goes and shows them how to eat and everything. There'd be a chicken. So I really, really like.
We hadn't had a strong broody hen in a while.
Yeah.
You know, bantams are famous for being broody.
But we're not going to have no.
I know, we're not going to get them because they get up and poop on everything. They like to get up high. And they're pretty and all.
Cheryl Dugas is here.
Oh, hey, Cheryl. And the thing about a bantam, I mean, they're little bitty hens, right? But it's amazing how many full-size eggs those little suckers can cover. You just wouldn't think. I mean, they just flatten out like a pancake and cover an inordinate amount of full-size eggs. It's crazy. So they make good mamas, but you know, maybe it'd be worth it getting one bantam hen just to
No. The reason I don't want a bantam is because they can fly like a bird, and I've had them in my garden to where I couldn't keep them out of my garden.
Yeah, that's true.
And so that's why I am. I don't want any more. So, and I just want to say something too. Remind y'all that if you're directing a comment to us, or if you have a question for us, would you please put it in all caps, because I'm trying to keep up with the chat, and I know sometimes y'all talk amongst yourselves. It's just a lot easier if it's directed at us, if you will put it in all caps.
Yeah.
We appreciate that very much.
Wanda Deep South has a bantam that's broody. Got 12 eggs in the nest right now.
12 eggs under a small bantam. That's really good. And
but they have more than that.
12 should be about all, especially under a bantam. But yeah, we've had them sit nest up in the loft before, and they've tried to sit on and I'm not exaggerating. Let me get my hands on here. Like a bantam is would be this big. I've had them sit on try and set an egg pile like this.
Yeah,
I really have.
It's amazing how far they can spread out.
But if you have a way that you could keep them pinned and everything, it really wouldn't hurt to have one. And you know, I don't think we've had this is our second lay-in with the Delaware, and I don't know that we've seen any of them get broody before. Now our turkeys, our midget white turkeys, have gotten broody. We've really early on in the season, they were not, In fact, we've just, in the last week, we've had a few days, we've got 4 hens, and we've had a few days where we get 3 or 4 eggs. That's the first time that's happened, which this is their first laying season. But my point is the hens had gotten broody, a month ago or longer, when we were trying to collect eggs for the incubator.
Yeah,
So,
I forgot that, but Wanda just reminded me that they got their babies in a covered cage, so they can't get to the garden. Well, that's a good move, Wanda, because they sure enough would.
Yeah,
I imagine you know that, which is why you got them in a covered cage.
And I mean, they would wreak havoc at Danny and Wanda's house because they don't have each of their little things fenced off, you know, which I would love to be able to be growing stuff out in my yard and stuff, but right now I can't do it.
No, we got to quarantine everything.
Yeah, we got our goats are get out too much.
Speaking of growing some stuff, you picked some stuff this week.
I did, and I actually was able to bring it to the chef at Betty's, Andy, that y'all met, and Matt. This is my. Let's see, that picture's turned from the west, isn't it?
I know, but it
don't
works.
Look upside down. Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is our little breakfast radish. I picked about half of them, and the other half is ready. They're actually a little bit bigger than this. We sent some pictures to the chef of the arugula. This is our first time growing. Well, that was our first time growing breakfast radishes. I'll be sowing some more out as soon as I get a little place ready. This is arugula, and from what Andy has told me, I should be able to get about 4 good pickings off of it. Then we can just like replant it. We could do this a few times before summer gets here, or at least a time or two. Well, typically when summer would get here. Summer feels like it's already here.
Summer, going by the calendar.
Yeah, so I'll be selling that at the restaurant too.
Hey, Stephanie, on Facebook.
Oh, okay. Cheryl says that Richard said that the best hen he had are game hens, the best mamas.
Oh, yeah.
I've heard that before.
We've heard that before, too.
I've heard that. So
here comes Corey wandering in.
Corey J's home. Good.
Yeah.
Glad he got home before the weather. So.
Well, come over here for a minute, Corey.
Uh-oh.
Oh, hush.
Tootsie, that's Corey.
Squat down and tell everybody, hey. We were just fixing to talk about you because they had a marathon tennis match.
Yep.
What day was that last week?
Oh, I don't even remember. Wednesday. It was Wednesday, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Wednesday against Jones County, which is always provides great competition. And but it started at 2, right?
Yeah.
And you're normally through by 6-ish, 4 or 5 hours.
And I brought my 93-year-old mama to this match, and of course we just sit in the car and watch it. But poor mama.
But it seemed like everybody, and there was like how many matches? 3 doubles matches, 9 matches being played, and I mean they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 courts, but right. 3 up top and 2 below, but it seemed like especially on the boys' side, that's every single match went to a tiebreaker.
Some of the girls did too. At least 2 of the girls did.
Yeah. So anyway, we got home at like 9:45 p.m.
Yeah. I was putting my mama in bed at 9:40.
And so Corey had a nice shot for the newspaper.
Oh, I didn't know that. I missed that.
Yeah, I got
you
that.
Didn't tell
Well,
me.
I'll say the newspaper. That was a
Facebook newspaper.
Yeah.
It was in the newspaper.
The Colin thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So Corey and his partner won their doubles match, and then Corey was the last match to be played for the day, and so it was basically tied between Colin, Corey's school, and Jones County. And so if Corey won his match, that meant Colin won the overall match. And if Corey lost, Jones County won the overall match. So I'll show you this picture and see if you can figure out if Corey won or not.
And they're not a gang, okay?
Yeah, they're not gang. They're all good boys. They took 2 pictures.
They were real excited.
I don't know why Coach Mack decided to share this one because the other one they all were just looking normal, but that's Corey on top there, and he won and cinched the match for Colin. So that was pretty cool. We were pretty proud of him. He played really, really well.
Yep,
So,
he did good. So he played hard, and he's helped us out. He took care of the goats. My sister called me last night. There's a baby goat out. out of the fence, and it can't get back to its mama, and it's crying, and the mama can't get to it, and all this. And I was like, oh, Julie, and I couldn't tell her how to get to the goat and what to do. And so anyway, I was just like, I said, Corey will be home in a little bit. He had to work. I said, I'll text him and tell him. So Corey saved the day and saved the baby goat. Was it out or was it back at the barn? I never did ask you.
It was out.
It was out. So
Beyond that second.
so he had to
wow.
he had to go out at 10:30 at night and go gather up the baby goat that got out. So
Life on the
anyway,
farm
so he
just got
took-
real.
yeah, he took care of the animals for us. So
All right.
anyway.
Thanks. And we understand your match tomorrow has been canceled, right?
Yes.
Or postponed?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. We talked to the
We talked-
Colombians.
Juan Pablo and Sebastian were with Chicho, and they said it had been canceled because of the weather tomorrow, and probably moved till Tuesday.
Okay, Cheryl
So-
said what makes the difference between breakfast radish and regular radish. I don't know.
I don't know if it's you pick them when they're smaller or if they only grow a certain size. If it's a different variety, is it a different variety?
I think maybe that is what it is. It's a different variety. I know the bottoms are long, and most little radishes, are the ones I've seen, are round. But maybe if one of y'all know the answer to that, y'all can answer Cheryl on that, because I really don't know. I just had seen, I had heard they grow in like 24 to 28 days. They're ready for harvest from the time you plant the seeds. And so I had heard that they were like, an up and coming thing, that really, they've been around, but that people were learning about them again and everything.
Yeah.
And I just did one for us just to try it, and I kind of stir-fried it, kind of. And
Yeah, it
we
was
liked
good.
it.
It was
We liked
good.
it. I put a little too much sugar in it.
I know they're shaped different than what I'm accustomed to seeing a radish
Yeah.
look like. And, like Patty said, a typical radish seems that I grew up with is rounder. And this thing was more teardrop shaped, or not really teardrop. It was just
oblong,
long,
like your
oblong.
finger, yeah.
Yeah.
And wait a minute, the mama cat says, "Why would you think they look like a gang?" Well, because that's all.
'Cause
gang
they was throwing gang
and all that
signs, all
stuff.
that,
That's being
you
they were
know.
being silly. So, Gracie's Country Life said, "Tommy and Patty, thanks for the info on Billy Felders. Love them. Now we are hatching cream leg bars." Oh, I thought about the cream leg bars. I think they're pretty chicken too. But
Well, if you hatch any Bielenfelders, let us know how the hatch goes. 'Cause
Yeah.
so far, that's our only disappointment. And it could be some anomaly, that just
Yeah.
that batch of eggs, maybe we let it sit longer than we thought. Or,
yeah, and maybe I kept the eggs too long because, like I said, I only have 2 hens. So
Yeah,
it
so it
takes
took a
me
while to
but
get
I
them.
only had 9, I think, in there. Oh, no, I don't remember how many was in there. Maybe it was 18. So maybe I did keep the eggs too long too. But anyway, I have more in there to hatch out, so I'll see how that goes. So a lot of people said congratulations, Corey. Oh, he's gone off. So anyway, let's see.
Mark at Sunburst Acres says that breakfast radishes tend to be milder. I'm assuming, Mark, you have grown them for years? That's
Oh,
what,
okay.
what it sounds like. Yeah.
And Cheryl says that she can grow and replant every 28 to 30 days too. So it's not that they grow faster, it's why I guess they just look different. And maybe they're milder, and everything from what Mark says.
Sandy Sledge, so far, the round that came through earlier today, as far as we know, our area was spared any heavy stuff, because when we got home, you could tell that it had rained, but it didn't look like a bad storm had come through. There wasn't pine cones on the ground and all that, but the worst of the stuff is scheduled for tonight, Central Time, between 10 p.m. and 7 a.m. in the morning, so we're bracing for that. It does,
Jay-
Mama Cat. I've spent 20 years in law enforcement. It looks like gang signs to me.
And it may not be real ones. But that's what they were just being silly,
Yeah, they were just being silly.
They were excited.
But let me tell you something. You got to be careful doing that kind of stuff. I see kids, trying to, even if they're just playing, I'm talking about law-abiding kids, and I've never seen my kids do this, but I'll see other kids on Facebook just striking a silly pose, throwing up some kind of things with their hands or whatever. Do you know that there are cases where people have done that sort of thing and ended up being attacked later because it turned out they were throwing up the sign of some rival gang, and they had no idea they were doing that. But they were accidentally throwing up some rival gang sign and invited violence on themselves. So you got to be careful with that kind of stuff because, you know, the bad guys are on social media, sadly.
Jayton said that her husband tossed her sourdough starter. He thought it was bad.
Oh.
Yeah. And she wants to know, she wants to start more, and she says, with 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar and 1 cup of milk added to 1 cup of sugar and 1 cup of flour work. And I'm assuming you want to do the apple cider vinegar to make it more sour quicker. I would use the 1/2 cup of sugar is what typically I use. I would use 1 cup of milk, 1 cup of flour, 1/2 cup of sugar, and the tablespoon of apple cider vinegar may go ahead and hurry that along, but it may also curdle your milk. I would mix everything up and then add the tablespoon of apple cider vinegar because I'll use regular white vinegar in a little milk to have a butter tasting type milk, and it does kind of curdle the milk a little bit. So if any of y'all have any experience with that, let me know. There is when I did that series on the sourdough, there was somebody that tried beer, and so if you look in the comments, didn't they write that in the comments, Tommy?
I don't know,
because they were kind of keeping us updated on the beer, because the beer, you know, the stuff the liquid that'll rise to the top on sourdough starter, it smells very beery, or, you know, like alcohol. And so anyway, so I think the apple cider vinegar would help it along. So, and you know what? It's just a cup of milk, a cup of flour, 1/2 cup of sugar. So, you know, you wouldn't be losing a whole lot if it didn't work, but I think it might.
Yeah.
And Susan, I'm so sorry that the storm did damage there. And I'm afraid we all have more to come tonight, because anybody that's where we're at and further east, that's when the worst of it's supposed to come through. We're not staying here in our trailer, and we have a mobile home. I call it a trailer because it's mine. But I don't want to offend anybody that lives in a mobile home that don't like it to be called a trailer. We've always called it a trailer. Anyway, Mama has a house that's on a slab, and we'll be staying over there tonight. So, because just in case. So
we'll be trying a different bed.
Tootsie.
Don't get mad about it, Tootsie. Sugar Bear, hush.
The bed we slept in last time we slept at Mama's house.
When she says slept, that's a very liberal definition of the word. Yeah, the bed that we spent the night in, there wasn't very much quality sleep, because it seems to be sunk in the middle. So we were holding on for dear life on the edges to keep from crashing.
I finally put a pillow between us because it kind of made us stay over, you know.
It's like trying to sleep on a 45-degree angle.
Yeah, that's what it felt like.
That's what it felt like.
Yeah. Cheryl said there was no bad weather there yet, just winds that feel like a hurricane is about to pass. Yeah, you know, last week it was real windy like that here. It was neat. We didn't end up with really bad weather, but that came through before the weather. But Cheryl's down below close to Lafayette, down that way, huh, Tommy? Yeah. My cousin put a picture up on Facebook that where they had just hail all out in their yard. So.
Jay Wallace says April's breaking the egg record. She's so fired up with her new chickens. It's cool. Yeah, Norma, that's right. We are. In fact, moments before I hit the go live button, which is one of the reasons we were a minute or so late, because I was waiting on the thing to stop talking, the weather box.
Oh, yeah.
And we're under a tornado watch until like 9 p.m. But tornado watches, you know, they don't really get our cackles up too much, because all that means is conditions are favorable. And
we stay watchful still.
It doesn't mean we don't pay heed to it, but we don't run for cover with a tornado watch if it upgrades to a warning, which means that one has been sighted or radar indicated.
Yeah, radar indicated.
That's a little different. But Yeah, well, Beth, I hope y'all are okay. Beth Mitchell says there in East Texas, they got nailed till about an hour ago, and it was very bad.
Yeah, it was. It looked bad coming through there.
Yeah, some of the stuff that's coming toward us, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's some of the same stuff. Did you ever show the arugula?
Yeah,
you
I
had
did.
the picture up. Okay, I wasn't sure if you did.
Yeah,
I was just
did.
looking at the radar now. It's not quite to us yet, y'all. So I can hear the thunder in the distance. So I just thought I would check my radar and see how it's looking. So, but it's just really bad looking on there. If I can hear Tommy, yeah, you do it.
Give the light a second. Yeah, you see the blue dot?
That's us.
The blue dot is us right there, and that's the storm. It's not. You don't have it moving though.
No, I didn't want it to be
How
moving.
do you move it? Oh yeah.
But anyway, I did a little video.
So it may miss us, or the worst of it.
yeah. Wanda said if they hit every time they set a watch, they would live in the storm shelter.
Yeah,
about 50% of the time.
that's about right.
Yeah.
That's about right. So
Let It Snows want to know if you listen to your local police scanner.
no, I want to, but it would cost several $100s to do that because of the frequencies that they're on. I'd need to have a digital scanner and don't have one. The city police is on a lower band, and I could actually pick them up if we were closer. I can occasionally pick up some of their activity, but it's sporadic. And one of these days I'd like to get one. So
I enjoy listening to it too. Just from the police.
maybe I just
days
need to
and
join the
everything.
reserves and get a radio.
No. We're done policing, baby.
Yeah, we're done policing. I'm
Yep.
too old, in fact,
Yeah.
to fight crackheads in the rocks.
I'm so glad. I'm so thankful. I'm thankful for our police officers, but I'm thankful my husband
Although
is
if
not
I
a
can
police officer
if I can
anymore.
handle a 140-pound dog, I can.
No, we're just not going to do it. We're just not going to do
No.
it. No. But that's one thing. I can't.
Tom, I don't know. I don't know what a hook echo is. I'm not a meteorologist. I've heard that term, but I think Tom says LOL. I think he's probably making fun at how the meteorologists get on there and give all these descriptions of what they're seeing and these hook echoes and all this. I don't know. All right, what else?
Okay.
Hey, Krista, how are you?
Let's see. What about our pictures? Do we have anything
We got
else?
one more picture. That one. No. We got this little thing right here. Yeah.
I just did a quick little picture of our greenhouse. Every time I'm gone a day or two, my sister watered it for me yesterday. I was so thankful. I meant to water it before we left, and I forgot. And so I called her. I said, "Would you please water my greenhouse?" And so she went out and watered it for me. But I was just shocked at the growth on the plants.
Now I've got the sound off, which is what you wanted.
I want the sound off. Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Yeah, this is my tomatoes. Some of those are cherry tomatoes, and they're doing really good. You're going to see skips. I planted the squash out. That's a few peppers right there. And this is a new tray of lettuce I started. It's really come up quick, I guess, with the warm temperatures and everything. I've got two new trays. That's the mortgage lifter tomatoes. This is okra. And it's really doing good. We're gonna have to get so busy in that garden.
That's the caramel melons.
Yeah, and then this is another tray of lettuce. And I tested some of my seeds.
You point.
Yeah, sorry, I'm pointing. Anyway, some of my seeds didn't come up, and I got to get new seeds for those. This came up very sporadic. I've planted some stuff out of here though. That was a few herbs, and this is a few more herbs. I hardly have any lemon balm, and then that's some stuff right there. Some herbs. That's my dill. This is more tomatoes. I think I'm gonna seed some more tomatoes to have some later. That's Roma, and that's Brandywine right there. And then that's some peppers that I got in the homestead box. And boy, the feed has just scrolled up really fast. So
that's it,
I'm missing the comments. Yeah, that's it. But I just want to give a little update on here about the greenhouse because I'm very, very pleased at how it's growing. Oh, Wanda says she thinks the rain's going to miss them.
It might.
That would be
The way you
great.
saw it on that radar, it may miss us. Well, this band anyway. I don't know, because and you know, I said earlier that it follows a typical path. It's on that typical path right now, where it seems that we always so far have come out just to the east of where the bad weather is, and it's always a little bit west of us, and then it goes up north of us, and then parts to the east of us get it, well, to the northeast of us, and it seems to be following. I'd love to study how that happens. I mean, how do it know?
Yeah.
That seems to follow that same path. You've heard Tornado Alley; those things are real. Remember Stan Easley now?
Yeah.
You know,
it's like a tornado alley. I mean, it's just strange.
Something about the atmospheric patterns that stay the same, because when we lived in Baker, one of my lieutenants at the Baker Police Department, Stan Easley's house, got hit 2 or 3 times. Over the course of time, that just right through that his house was built in a tornado alley. It was really strange.
Beth Mitchell says that her husband was a police officer for 30 years, and no, she would not let him go back to it for nothing.
Yeah, I was just kidding, Beth.
She understands. She understands. But Beth, I'm gonna tell you this. I sort of said this a while ago. I actually chuckle out loud to myself sometimes when I think about it. And I know you were around with your husband's radio, and you knew how they talked on the radio and all that. And Tommy started out in communications, and he was actually reserve before we got married. And I actually sat up there in the radio room with you some, and so I knew some of the numbers and stuff like that, and
the
all.
10 codes.
Yeah, the 10 codes and all that, and just the police jargon, the way they talk and stuff. And when the dog attacked Tommy, I was on the phone with that girl. With the radio operator and
the 911 dispatcher.
Yeah, and anyway, it was just so funny. When I later went and met her, I said, do normal people talk to you like I did, asking what's their ETA and all this kind of stuff? And she said, no, ma'am. I said, my husband was a police officer, and I said, that's just what came out. So I said, I wasn't trying to be a wannabe cop. It's part of me still.
Just revert back to what you know. I guess.
So it was. I still laugh out loud when I think that she must have been thinking, "This woman's a nut," So, and I would say, "Lady, can you hear me, lady?"
I don't know about in other parts of the country. This has nothing to do with homesteading, but since Katrina, when they had so many agencies coming down to the Mississippi coast and to New Orleans to help in the recovery effort and all, with different radio systems and all that kind of stuff, it was hard to communicate because sometimes the 10 codes were different from agency to agency.
Yeah.
Like in Louisiana, we had a set of 10 dash codes, but we also had signal codes that were based on the criminal code.
Yeah.
An armed robbery was a signal 64G because the law against armed robbery was Title 14:64, and if it was a G, we put it anyway. Since Katrina, there's been a big move afoot to get away from all the 10 codes and go to plain English. So there are mixed emotions about that because everybody's got a scanner, but you can also print off a thing of the 10 codes,
Yeah.
So a lot of agencies now speak plain English on the radio.
But on the same subject, and then I'm gonna talk about some other things. Beth said she said you never forget, and in his younger years she used to ride sometimes. Well, Beth, one time I rode with Tommy, and I think my sister Julie was with us. I think it was me and her. Because, Tommy says all the time, Patty should have been the detective. Well, I really should have, I would still like to be a detective. I would like to help people find...
She is a detective. She
I would like
just
to
don't
help
do it
people
for a
find
living.
missing people. I think that would be so much fun. But anyway, and rewarding. But... we were riding, and I'll never forget. And of course, the shotgun was probably in the car, but Tommy made a traffic stop, and I think I was in the front seat. But I'm going to tell you something. I felt like I was a sitting duck because I didn't have a gun on me or anything. And I thought, what if something happened? And I have to sit here and watch my husband get shot. I never rode with him again.
She didn't. But let me tell you what they would do. Her and Julie would arm up and go, not arm up, but they would load up in the car and go riding around. If they knew we were looking for something, her and Julie would get. Julie,
I don't remember that.
Julie, you're watching this and you know I'm telling the truth.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, they would go detecting by
Well,
themselves.
probably helped.
Cagney and Lacey. We used to call them Cagney and Lacey. That was too funny. All right.
Anyway,
let's see.
wait. Beth asked, do we have a heater in our hot house? No. And we did do a heater last year, but it has been so warm. We actually have
Hadn't needed one.
Yeah, we have a little window that's cut out of the visqueen, and that I usually put a flap of visqueen over to cover the window.
Not this time.
It stayed open the whole year since we've planted.
Since we started planting. It's just
In
crazy.
fact, Tommy had closed the door for me the other day when the rain had come through. I didn't realize it. And I went to go water, and all my plants were just all drooped over. It had gotten so hot because we're having 80, 85 degree days now.
Yeah.
I mean, so it is so hot.
Hubbard Homestead says, Tommy and Patty, where are you?
Oh.
We're right here. You can't see us? I'm kidding. Sorry. Well, just my tickle box is kind of turned over. We're just outside of Brookhaven, Mississippi, which is about 50 minutes south of the capital city of Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Interstate 55 runs right down through it, and so we're 2 hours north of New Orleans, an hour east of Natchez, an hour and a half west of Hattiesburg, and that ought to tell you, that ought to get you pretty close.
Yeah.
Yeah, David, that's right. Many agencies are using encrypted radio technology to kind of
can't get it.
So the kind of a combination. The signal's encrypted, and they use plain English on the radio.
And Let Us Know says, nice to see someone else using big popsicle sticks. Well, I went to Walmart and I have a big old box of them, and I mean, it's, really, really cheap.
And we got some in the Homestead box.
I got some in the Homestead box, but they're so big, I'm going to use those out in the garden. They're really big. They're the Hoss ones, but the Hoss ones?
Yeah,
But
Hoss.
anyway, but I like using those, and for Pratt family, thank you so much. They said a greenhouse looks great.
Speaking of the Homestead box, if you've been waiting on our March Homestead box, so have we. I don't know what the deal. I've emailed them, and it hasn't arrived. I got the email notification that it had shipped, but it hasn't arrived. So I don't know. We'll see. I'll follow up on that this week.
And our farmers market usually starts the first Friday in June, but it's not going to. It may start at the end of May. Depending on how many of the farmers have vegetables to sell. With it being so warm, I feel like we'll be able to start a week or two early. So, anyway.
Wanda says they're using their greenhouse as a dehydrator. It's 150 degrees in there, so they can't put any plants in it. Hey, but that's great though. You could use it to dehydrate all the water that Danny wants to can and store.
That's right.
In case of an emergency.
Use that for your that's right.
Yeah, so if y'all don't know what I'm talking about, you need to go over to Deep South Homestead, and Wanda, if you want to grab the link to that video and post it in the chat, that's fine with me. It's a lost art of being able to dehydrate water to store it for later use. It's real easy to rehydrate once you've dehydrated it, but Danny does a great job of taking you through step by step of how to dehydrate water and can it. Good job on that, Danny. Right.
Seals and everything.
It seals up and everything. It even shows you how the little can, the lid pops and all that. Brilliant. That was brilliantly done.
And Jean, yes, I hope to be planting all week. I've got to go make room. Well, I've got to rearrange my garden on my garden planter, because I think I am going to go ahead and put my tomato plants in. I like their size and everything, and I'm ready to go ahead and get them in the ground. And my rows aren't ready, but I can get them in boxes. So that's what I'm going to plan to do.
Did you catch, y'all, if we've missed the question, please do it again in all caps about the farmer's market?
Yeah, I just said it. Yeah, you were looking at that. So I'm kind of way up there catching up. I didn't scroll down, so. Yep, Susan said all wives are detectives.
I'm not joking, Gene. Danny did do a video showing you how to dehydrate water.
Yeah, Tommy's not picking.
I'm not joking. There is a video on Deep South Homestead of Danny dehydrating and canning water, or canning dehydrated water. So go look and see if you don't believe me.
I mean, it ain't 5 minutes. It's a true full-length video. So
complete tutorial.
See, Norma watched it. She said, it
Bye,
was funny.
bandana grandma. You always need to take care of your honey.
So, anyway, we got to show our last
Hey,
clip.
Hope.
We're almost out of time.
Yeah, we're almost out of time. So I got one more photo to show you. And I'm going to put it up here. I couldn't make it fit the whole screen. But that's a picture of Patty.
Yes.
With her 2 copies of the Encyclopedia of Country Living. You can't really tell by the photo. The photo doesn't do the dilapidated state of that first Encyclopedia of Country Living justice. It is falling to pieces. Encyclopedia of Country Living put together by Carla Emery years and years ago. And y'all, there's nothing about starting a homestead that is not included in that book. It is absolutely comprehensive.
Yeah.
And so Carla Emery is, to a large degree, responsible for Patty being the woman that she is, the homestead woman that she is,
Yep.
along with Mr. Stump and some others. But Carla Emery to a large degree. And so Patty's got a 35th anniversary updated one. Well, that book in her right hand is a book by Esther Emery. You probably know her from Fouch-o-matic Off Grid. She recently wrote a book called What Falls from the Sky. And it's a story of how she unplugged basically from the internet for 365 days.
That's right.
And found faith that she had really set aside as a youngster. And I think it would be fair to say made her who she is today.
Yeah.
Found that her identity is in Christ, not in all of the other stuff, you know. So anyway, Esther is doing a book giveaway, and so she let several of us have some copies, and I sent her a message and said, hey, if you've got one more of those, it would tickle my wife to death if you were to autograph her a copy. And I reminded her of who Patty was, and she said, oh, absolutely, I know that. You know, I told her about her mom, and she said, yeah, I know that about Patty, and it tickled her to death. So we actually, I didn't tell Patty, so we did an unboxing video, and she knew it was from Esther, and so you can go see that on our channel. But Esther is the best, and we love everything she's doing, her and Nick at Fouch-o-matic Off Grid, and look forward to seeing her in October.
Yes, I'm going to get to meet her in person.
At the homestead.
Texted her one time, but...
yeah, so that's going to be really, really cool. So we're so appreciative so thank you, Esther.
That was a great surprise and a blessing.
If you haven't been over to Fouch-o-matic Off Grid, I don't know what's wrong with you that you hadn't been over there, because they've got some good stuff happening, and Esther's all over Facebook with her Homestead Skill of the Month club on Facebook.
Really cool.
Yeah, so
and she's going live, I think, every day with that. Oh,
yeah.
Or is it every Monday?
I think it's every Monday.
Every Monday, yeah.
I think, if I'm not sure. I mean, if I'm not mistaken. So man, it's really getting dark here.
It really is. It's coming. It's coming.
And
I have somebody coming to get turkeys. I told her that our show was over at 6, so anytime after that. So
really today?
Yeah. I told her she could wait because of the weather and all, and she wanted to come on and
another person was supposed to come tomorrow. I need to reach out to her because I just don't know with what the weather's supposed to do, because she was supposed to be coming to get Delawares and turkeys, and she was going to buy the 3 remaining, some hatching eggs, the 3 remaining black Australarp, the trio that we have of them.
That's right. And so that's what I was meant to say that a while ago when we were talking about the egg bars and everything, that I would like to have some in a way. Leg bar, not egg bar. Leg bar. Anyway, I'm really trying to just have the breeds that I really, really want to have. And when I got rid of all of my black Australarps, that was my original laying flock, because I want to move over to Delaware for my laying flock.
Not original laying flock.
Well, the ones that we were depending on for eggs. But
original commercial laying flock, really.
Yeah, and I kept 2 hens and a rooster because I just wasn't sure I wanted to give them up, because I really, really like the black Australarp. But I really need to downsize. I really don't need to have so many different pens to keep so many, which they're free, to keep so many things separated and everything. But they like to come in the barn, and so they don't need to be in the barn. So
There you go. Wanda, thank you, Wanda, has posted a link. Mother of Many Horses was asking for a link to fouch-o-matic Off-Grid's YouTube channel. You're going to love it, Mother of Many Horses. And thank you, Wanda, for doing that.
Yeah.
Norma, thank you for
Yes.
keeping our area and
Thank
everybody
you.
else who's facing this weather in your prayers. We certainly need it, because I mean it could be bad. And but you know what? We know the one that controls the weather, and it doesn't take him by surprise. And he knows the end from the beginning, and that's who we place our trust in. And whatever comes, because he has promised to work all things together for the good of those that love him. And all things includes all things, including disasters and bad events, including dog attacks and whatnot. God is not stumped. He never is faced with, oh, I didn't see that coming. How am I going to work that together? No. He saw that coming before the foundation of the world. He knows the results of this weather system, and he knew it before the foundation of the world. And so he is already working to work it together for the good of them that love him.
That's right.
And so, it's a very, listen, knowing that God is sovereign is a very comforting thing.
That's right.
Because nothing is outside of his control. And it also helps to have an eternal perspective, knowing that we're living in Act 1 of a 2-act play. And come what may, if disaster strikes or pain or suffering, 15 million years from now it'll be forgotten, and because Act 2 never ends. Act 1 will end someday, and then we will launch into, because of his mercy and grace, we will launch into Act 2, which never comes to an end. And he'll wipe away every tear. The Bible promises that. And so, anyway, but we covet your prayers, we do. And that doesn't mean we live a determinist, that's not it, fatalist existence where, well, whatever's happened going to happen. No, it's one of the mysteries of Scripture that God wants us to pray. And he answers prayer. How that works together with his sovereignty, I'm not smart enough to know, and nobody is. But it's the truth, and so we just live by it.
That's right.
And so I'll end that sermon. I don't have a collection plate to pass around, but I'll end that sermon by reminding you, whether you eat or drink or whatever you do all to the glory of God, because he's because of his sovereignty. That's one of the reasons he's worthy of that glory.
That's right.
And so we're just about out of time, but looking outside the window, if you guys don't mind, we're probably going to say bye-bye right now instead of going right up to the end of the timer. But as always, we appreciate you guys so very much, and appreciate the comments and thoughts that we got from people who thought we might not be able to be on today.
That's right.
It gets to sound repetitive, but we really do mean it, that we just can't get over it, that you people care what we have to say or what we've got going on, because we're just regular folks, and we're just like you, and trying to make our way and learning along the way, and we don't mind sharing what we've learned, because that's how we learn. Other people were willing to share.
That's right.
So anyway, we'll sign off now and bid you adieu, but we'll probably see you live in the garden sometime this week.
Yeah, we might be tomorrow, showing them how it survived the storm.
Yeah, how about that? We'll sometime tomorrow we'll do a live stream from the garden. Okay? Thank you guys. We love y'all.